A very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Imagine you're on a luxurious flight, settled comfortably in your first-class seat, the kind of seat that promises an experience of comfort, exclusivity, and relaxation. The plane hums with the usual buzz of high-end travelers, but then, something completely unexpected happens. Barron Trump, the son of former President Donald Trump, does the unthinkable. He steps up and gives up his first-class seat for a veteran. A moment that completely defies the expectations many have of someone from such a privileged background. You have to ask yourself, why would Barron Trump do such a thing? Was it out of the kindness of his heart, or is there something deeper here that we just don't understand? It's a gesture that not only surprised the people around him, but also raised eyebrows all across the world. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly prompted this surprising act of generosity? Could it be that Barron's actions are a glimpse of something more? Something that people haven't yet realized about him? Some are even questioning if this is part of a larger plan, a calculated move, or simply an act of kindness in a world where such gestures are often rare. But here's where it gets even crazier.
And he was saying, Dad, you got to go out and do this one and that one, and we did a lot of them. And he respects them all. He understood them very well, and he said, Dad, you got to go out, do Joe Rogan, do all these guys, and we did. We did, and Joe Rogan was great. They were all great, right, Barron? They were all good. He understood the market.
The moment Barron gives up his seat, the reactions from the people on board are jaw-dropping. What happens next is so unbelievable, so unexpected, that even the people who witnessed it firsthand are left in complete shock. But that's not all. As the story unfolds, you're about to learn the incredible twist that no one could have predicted. What happens next is something so mind-blowing, it will change how we look at Barron Trump forever. So, stick around, because what happens after this shocking gesture will leave you questioning everything. You won't believe the unbelievable turn of events that follows this selfless act, and trust me, you'll want to see this for yourself. When Barron Trump made the decision to give up his first-class seat for a veteran, it didn't just raise eyebrows on the flight, it left everyone in complete disbelief. But why did he do it? Why would Barron Trump, a young man often described as reserved and private, make such a dramatic, public gesture? Barron is known for staying out of the spotlight, and his life has largely remained shielded from the public eye. But this one act would change all of that, at least for a moment. The reason for this shocking decision is more complex than we might first think. Let's be honest here, when most people think about Barron Trump, they don't necessarily think of someone capable of selfless, heartfelt gestures. For the longest time, Barron has lived in the shadow of his larger-than-life father, former President Donald Trump. He's never been one to actively seek attention or place himself in the center of controversy. Barron is the quiet member of the Trump family, rarely seen, rarely heard. But on that flight, Barron showed us a completely different side of himself.
What can you tell us about Barron from your point of view?
Well, he's very smart. He's a good student and all that. He goes to a great school and does really well. And he's a very nice guy. You see that. Mm-hmm. He's a very he doesn't mind being alone, but he's somebody that gets along with people. He loved having you that night. I saw you. I was at a different table. I said, "Look at Barron. He's really having a good time." But you're like a psychiatrist for a lot of people. I mean, this interview is now twice as long as it's supposed to be. And we talked about some really amazing things. We talked about Barron, of course. Mm-hmm. I got to say, he said, Dad, you got to do me one favor. What? You have to say hello to Patrick for me. I mean, it's cute, you know.
Truth is, when you dig a little deeper into Barron's past, you start to wonder if this gesture was something that was ingrained in him from a young age, a moment where his upbringing and personal values converged. The Trump family, love them or hate them, is built on a foundation of extreme success, public exposure, and wealth. Barron, however, seems to have taken a step back from all the fame and glitz that comes with being the son of a former president. Growing up in such an environment, Barron would have had every right to enjoy the privileges that come with his family's wealth. But, In that moment, Barron chose something different. He chose to forego the luxury of a first-class seat, a seat that many people dream of, to give it to someone who truly needed it, a veteran. You have to ask yourself, why? What was going through his mind in that moment? Could it have been the recognition of the veteran's sacrifices? The veteran, someone who had served the country, might have reminded Barron of the men and women who fight for the freedoms that people like him enjoy every day. Or maybe it was something more personal. Maybe Barron, in his own quiet way, was trying to say something to the world, that he understood the weight of service, the importance of respect, and the value of giving back. The truth is, it's hard to say exactly what motivated him.
And finally, as President Donald Trump's inauguration was nothing short of a family reunion, however, it was the 6'7", 18-year-old Barron Trump who stole the spotlight with a little boost from his dad. From his heartwarming handshake with outgoing President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to his classy exchanges with billionaires Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, Barron Trump was the talk of the town, with many claiming the kid has it in him to perhaps be president himself one day. Our final report brings you more.
Donald Trump's presidential inauguration was a show of family unity. Accompanied by his wife Melania Trump, the hour-long ceremony saw Donald Trump and Melania together throughout. While Donald Trump made headlines for his 30-minute speech where he promised action against illegal migrants, drug cartels, and redefining gender, it was Melania Trump who turned heads. Dressed in a sharply cut suit, spiked heels, paired with a dramatic look thanks to the headgear. Melania Trump looked both chic and mysteriously serious, and joining the First Lady were Donald Trump's children.
We can only speculate. But one thing is clear. Barron Trump didn't just make a random decision. This was a choice that was driven by something deeper than a simple gesture. It was driven by a sense of duty, responsibility, and a desire to do what's right. And in a world where self-interest often trumps selflessness, Barron's decision stood out like a beacon of integrity. In fact, it was this very moment that opened up an interesting conversation about Barron Trump's character. What does this say about him as a person? What does it reveal about his upbringing? We've always known Barron to be the invisible Trump, someone who stayed largely out of the public eye. But this moment on the flight forced us to take a second look at who Barron really is. Could this be a turning point in how we see him? Could it be that Barron, despite all the media portrayals of him as being aloof, is in fact a young man with a heart full of empathy? As the story of Barron's generous act spread, it sparked a wave of discussions, not just among the people who were on that flight.
He's not an average 18-year-old, though.
No, he's very smart. He's very.
Is he good with the ladies in school?
Well,
I don't think. I'm not sure. Is he there yet? Or?
I'm not sure he's there yet. No, I'm not sure he's.
Well,
I don't think he's had a girlfriend yet. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. Every once in a while,
he's a good-looking guy. He's a good-looking.
He's a good-looking guy. Yeah,
he's got the swagger. He's a good troller. He's funny. He's witty. Last question for you.
And I have good kids. I mean, my kids are good.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing that your old best friend Hillary Clinton gave you credit of. If you remember that one time, which is what's the credit? You said she's not she doesn't give up, and she said you've raised.
But also across social media platforms and news outlets, everyone had an opinion on Barron's decision. Some hailed him as a hero, while others questioned whether there was more to this story than meets the eye. The reaction was mixed. Some people viewed his act of kindness as a symbol of hope, something that proved there was still humanity and decency in the world. Others, however, wondered if it was all part of a larger plan to shift his image in the public eye. Was this just a one-time act of kindness, or was there something more strategic at play? But here's where it gets even more interesting. The veteran who was given Barron's first-class seat was reportedly moved to tears.
I'm about to sign some very important executive orders of our new administration. Hey, Don, will you stand up, please? Don is another one. How about Don? This guy. He's a popular one. He goes out and speaks. He gets a big crowd. He's a little on the rough side sometimes, but that's what you want. He's done a fantastic job, and he loves our country. Thanks, Don. Great job. You've done a great job.
And Ivanka.
And joining Trump's first family were step-siblings Tiffany Trump and Barron Trump. The presidential inauguration was a show of strength for the already powerful family. But among all the elder siblings, it was Donald Trump's youngest son, Barron, who made the biggest waves. Standing at 6'7", 18-year-old Barron Trump makes quite an impression. Apart from his towering height, Barron has gone viral several times. He was instrumental in securing the youth vote for Donald Trump. It was Barron who pushed Donald Trump to go on podcasts, including the one hosted by Joe Rogan, comedians Theo Vaughn, Andrew Schulz, and scientist Lex Friedman. And throughout his election, Donald Trump made it a point to praise Barron.
And he's a very special guy. Barron Trump. This is the first time he's ever done this. Barron. Where is Barron? Stand up. Look at him.
Barron Trump's stature did not go unnoticed during the inauguration either. Wearing a long overcoat and his hair slicked back, the 6-footer practically made no efforts to be noticed, yet stole the show. Donald Trump made sure that Barron was heaped with praise.